yo, you have a rare opportunity to buy some pre-code horror comic books directly from my friend Matthew at a discount and get some instant equity if you're into buying pre-code horror and golden age collectibles. And if you're not into those things, we also have some really interesting points of conversation that I think are beneficial to all collectors, a little thought experiment, if you will. So stay tuned for that. But before we do, I want to mention that the Bryce Comics Trading Pack is selling super strong. We're well past halfway sold out, and we are set to sell out pre-sale. They're set to ship in March, so we still have about a month to go on those. So secure your packs today at brycecomics.com, where all the details are over there, and I'll run a little video clip at the end of this video, so stay tuned to that if you want some more details about the trading pack. We also do a monthly giveaway here on the YouTube channel, brand new giveaway for the month of February, and we have a giveaway over at brycecomics.com. If you sign up for the newsletter over there every month, you stay subscribed, you're entered to win a free slab. And congratulations to Sydney Rivera. Sydney, you won the YouTube giveaway for January, and you got these two beautiful shiny slabs. And congratulations to Mike Yergolaitis. You are the winner of the newsletter giveaway at brycecomics.com. Follow me over on Whatnot. Link down below for $15 if you're new to Whatnot. And we always have a ton of fun over there, and I hope to see you over there. Let's meet Matthew Manos. Matthew, thank you so much for coming on the show. How you doing, man?
Good, good. It's good to see you again. It's been a while. Thanks for having me.
It's good to see you as well. Just give everybody a quick little recap here. So some of you may recognize Matthew, who've done tons of business in the past. You may recognize him from videos like, I paid this guy X amount of dollar for his comics, something like that. A bunch of other cool transactions. Always the coolest, most unique stuff that comes through from Matthew. So I've always appreciated that, including some stuff that's in my personal collection, like this one, which I always think of our deal when I
Oh
see this book.
man.
This is
Yeah, that's so good.
the Pocket Guide to China in a 9.2 with white pages, one of the highest graded copies in the world from 1942, issued to military personnel, kind of a little bit racist to prepare American soldiers for what to expect from Chinese people. And super interesting little comic strip. If you can research that if you haven't seen that before, it's very, very interesting. And then I can't remember, did this come from one of your collections?
It did. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, this is the other thing at 5.5, also white pages. Very, very cool to have in white pages. The comic book price guide, the first ever price guide. So just a couple, just to give you a taste of some of the stuff that Matthew likes to collect. And Matthew reached out to me today and said, "Hey, I'm looking to streamline my collecting in 2025." And we'll get to the reason why here in just a sec. You can fill you in on that. And he said, would you be interested in these pre-code horror books? And I said, yes, I can offer you this much. Or why don't we do a video? Because I just needed a video for Monday, to be honest. And I knew that Matthew could provide a lot more insight to each one of the books, because every time he buys a book, he's got a reason. And it's cool because of this. And so I thought, what better way to have you explain it instead of me having to look up everything? So we just hopped on here. And so the way this is going to work, folks, is we're going to try to do it in one big package deal. And it's pre-code horror. They're worth about $8,300. And he's offering them for $6,750, which is about 20% off, which is a great opportunity. I mean, how often do you have an opportunity to buy pre-code horror for 20% off of fair market value? I mean, it's rare. So this would be a great opportunity for a collector, maybe a dealer. I mean, you can probably make some money off this if you wanted to flip some of these, or maybe you just want to keep a couple, sell the rest, and get the couple you want to keep for free. One of the great things about this hobby. So a really cool opportunity here. But why don't you start with the impetus for this, of why you decided to sell this particular batch of pre-code books?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been a longtime collector, and part of this is I love collecting. I also love trading. I also love selling. I really like every aspect of it. And so for me, it's not a new thing to all of a sudden say, hey, maybe I'm going to move away from this and focus on that, or maybe I'm going to consolidate this or that. But this time it was something a little special where we were actually in a recent evacuation zone for the wildfires happening in LA. We live closer to the Eaton fire in particular. Our house, our neighborhood's totally fine, but we could only grab one box. And I actually had to take like 2 minutes and assemble one box. I knew that I wanted to take some kind of comics. And what surprised me was sort of what I went for. Like in some ways it surprised me, in some ways it didn't. It was, if anybody's curious, it was Batman, Tales from the Crypt, Mad Magazine, and Mars Attacks. Those were the things that in that moment were all that I wanted. And I remember feeling like, you know what? I'm cool with it. Like I'm good with this stuff. And so that was kind of meaningful for me. And what that showed me is I really got to finish my Tales from the Crypt run because that's obviously an important piece in my collection. So I always, sell some stuff to buy some stuff, or
Yeah.
do whatever I want with it. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, you brought up a couple of really interesting topics like catch and release. Like I do the same thing, and I know a lot of collectors that do it. Sometimes we just do it and don't even know what we're doing, but it's like catch and release. You collect something, you find something, you enjoy it, you move on, especially like completing a run sometimes or something like that. But I think that's a fantastic exercise that people can do is imagine, God forbid, you have to evacuate your home. What comics are you bringing with you? And do that as a mental exercise and maybe shift gears on your collecting style. I think that's a fantastic little exercise to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also just shows you how much to appreciate your stuff, right? Like the things that you have, that they can be fleeting in some way. They're not necessarily guaranteed. Take good care of them, right? Put them in freaking Mylars if you're gonna have them, right? Do what you need to do to give this stuff a good life and focus on what you enjoy collecting is what I live by.
Mylar and a super thick, nice backboard. It's just you do appreciate it more. Yeah, you appreciate it more. You're like when you pick it up, you're like, this is something I care about versus a BCW bag or something that's just flopping around. So
Yep,
anyway,
like a thank you bag.
show us some of these goodies here, what you got. So
Yeah.
and once again,
Yeah.
folks, it's a package deal for 6,750. I'll put Matthew's email down in the description, and you can deal directly with him. He has my full endorsement. You can send him payment, and then he'll send you the books. Or if for some reason you want to send them to me first, and then I send them to you, and we can do that. It's completely unnecessary, but I understand it's a lot of money, so those are your options there. So let's see what you got.
Awesome. So, first of all, we've got a ton. You don't get to see this many pre-code horror in one place very often either. I think that's part of why this is exciting as a deal. Specifically, I've got some Haunt of Fear books as well as some Vault of Horror books from the EC publisher. So, this is two of the three titles that they have, the third being Tales from the Crypt. Vault of Horror has a lot of really great covers. I will say I think I'm only maybe 3 or 4 issues away from this being a full run. So that's a, huge as a project if you take this on too. But let me show you some of these. So we've got this awesome mummy cover. This is a minor key. It's a Morphine story. So this is one of those pre-code horror drug stories that would have got them in a ton of trouble. This one is Johnny Craig, one of my favorite of the EC artists as well. And you'll see he's done quite a few of these. This is another one.
And I'll put down
This
in the description, you guys, a complete list of all the books as well.
Look at that. Oh my God. So there's like a woman on the table, sort of like a voodoo doll story. Love
Hmm.
it. This one is one of the more iconic covers, to be honest. The hands coming out of the ground. Absolutely love that. I really like the lighting on it. You can see the inner hands are yellow, just like the title. It's a pretty
Right.
sweet little touch. We've got a werewolf cover, also from Johnny Craig. And a real kind of signature line of EC Comics and their writers is this line, "Good Lord." So that's something they kind of tended to do, like "Good Lord, choke," or something like that. So pretty classic graveyard cover there. Really beautiful copy of this Wishing Well cover. So the thing about this looks like a freaking 9.4 or something, but it has a tiny hole right there that does
Mm.
not go through the whole book, but it goes through a few pages, but this is otherwise really nice looking. All of
Yeah.
these are lower mid-grade but look nice. That was kind of what I was going for.
Yeah.
especially collecting them raw.
Yeah, so
So
you guys like this, all of them would be worth getting graded as far as like the value goes. I mean, I don't think any one of these books is less than $200 in value, but you know, you got them in great Mylar, you got the bonus, you could, you know, read the stories and see some of those ads inside. So
yeah,
it's one of
yeah.
those situations that I would just keep them the way it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is also a really, really clean copy. This is I would say about a 5.0. So this one, it's like no brainer to get it graded. Um, I really like this one. This is somebody at a zoo. Again, kind of another zombie situation, but it's an alligator pit, and you can
That's
see the
really cool.
alligators in the back with their tongues sticking out.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, the zombie situation way back then. That's awesome. That is cool.
so cool. This is iconic. We've got Frankenstein on Vault of Horror number 22. Another Johnny Craig cover. So this is Frankenstein frozen in the snow, and they're thawing him out. Silly gooses. I don't know why they're doing that. Um, Beautiful copy of number 23. Another great damsel in distress kind of cover, but with the creepy zombie looking arm right there falling apart. We've got number 24, which is another nicer grade one, probably like 5.0, 5.5. Another Good Lord cover on there. But yeah, something's going on that this doctor does not want to have going on. This is a classic cover. This is a seance cover from Johnny Craig. So you see the real creepy ghost lady in the middle, or just maybe long-haired rock and roll guy. But Vault of Horror number 25. We've got another Johnny Craig. See, these are like all Johnny Craig. So this is Vault of Horror 27. If you're new to the EC world and you're wondering, who is Johnny Craig, you probably have seen his work. He's the one that did the really famous decapitation cover, as well as the hanging cover. So his art is really collectible, and desirable. This is a number 33, a really creepy one. It's like a children's funeral parade
Oh
with
my
the
gosh. Yeah,
yeah, with
that's
the
great.
parents yelling. Very, very dark.
Wow.
No wonder this wasn't a comforting book for me, when running. Yeah. Vault of Horror 34. I love this cover.
Yep.
Really good one. So you've got definitely some people being buried alive. Hate to say it, but pretty sure that's what's happening there. I like the upward angle too, looking up the tree. Super cool. More beautiful lighting from Johnny Craig. This is a very unusual EC cover. You don't see a lot of them this kind of minimalistic, let's say.
Right.
So, yeah, really cool lighting on this. This is number 38. It's the third to last issue in the series. So these next few tend to have a lower print, especially when EC was getting in big trouble. This was around the time that was happening towards the end of these titles. So they are harder to find. This is another really nice, is a torture cover from Johnny Craig. Really cool, just skeletons, and his pen work is amazing. And this is the final issue. So harder to find, less printed. Another, you could see they're getting kind of experimental. I think they knew, hey, it's the end of our run. Let's try something else, right? There's not really any other EC covers that look like this with the
Mhm.
pink color. Yeah,
The end of the run experimentation is what brought us Spider-Man, you know, out of
that's
Amazing
true.
Fantasy. Yep.
That's true. That's true. So that was the Vault of Horrors. So there's 18 of those, I believe, is what we've got. I did put my own assessment of the grade and the value on the back of each of these. So if you are somebody that might buy it, but you really want half of them and you're going to sell the others to pay for that, I did the work for you. The next are Haunt of Fear. This one is actually the one of the bigger keys, or it is the biggest key in the lot. So this is the origin of the Haunt of Fear, the Vault of Horror, and the Crypt of Terror. So definitely a key issue. What's really cool is each of these folks are typically in their own comic mag. or their own title, right? But in this one, they're all together, which does happen in others, but you're also getting the origin of these characters and their places. So super fun one.
And what do you have on a grade on that one?
A 2.0, and the reason is you can see some issues with the spine and then a little bit of rust migration.
Yeah,
So
I know that book in like a I think like a 5 or 6 is like $5,000. So
yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, it would be like the value of the whole thing. So,
yeah.
but with that rust migration, there's not much you can do to this one. I am conservative, so maybe you get lucky and it's a 2.5, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, that book alone, that's probably like a $700 book alone, just so you guys kind of see the value there. We've got another Johnny Craig one, Haunt of Fear #7. Got this one as another mid-grade, very good copy. It's got a little weird round kind of cut down there, but otherwise looks real nice. This one is now a different artist. We've got Al Feldstein.
Hmm.
Really fun one, right? Kids like hiding out in the graveyard. They probably weren't supposed to be there, and then wrong place, wrong time kind of situation.
Hmm.
The Haunted Fears are a little more diverse because we just had a Johnny Craig, Feldstein. Now we have really sort of the king of Haunted Fear, which is Graham Ingalls or Ghastly Graham Ingalls. He's really known for his real small lines, so he's got like a really interesting aesthetic. Um, and yeah, there's a bunch of his, and you'll see some themes that he really likes. Like actually these two covers, kind of similar, right? Like
Hmm.
similar woman, the pose that she has, right? So kind of seeing some themes that he likes. You've got this interesting one, #27, which has a pink title, which I always liked. So that's not faded. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Wow.
Uh, and look at that creepy Graham Ingalls hand just like stretching out of the ground. So he's more abstract, I think, than the others, but really like kind of magical feel to the art. Um, and then finally we've got another creepy graveyard, Graham Ingalls, really cool sky. The sky's green and red. And yeah, and so that was 8 Haunt of Fear issues and 18 Vault of Horror. So an instant EC collection for
Nice.
anybody that is interested. Yeah.
Yep, and instant equity in it, and again, it'll be a list down in the description. I'll try to put a link to the better pictures and
Yeah.
um, all the info down there in the description. Are you able to move your camera? Are you able to show us your Martian here?
Yeah. So, okay, so I've got and he's facing away from you right now. So, here's my Martian, right? I mentioned Mars Attacks. He's pointed towards the front door, so my office is in a detached space from our house, and so you walk in, and the first thing you're greeted by is this, which is very welcoming.
Right on. Well, thank you so much, Matthew. You guys reach out to him or reach out to me if you have any questions. And thanks again for coming on and showing us your cool books.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks everybody. Thanks for considering, and thanks for looking. Go buy some ECs.
Introducing the Bry's Comics Trading Pack, your chance to find a golden ticket redeemable for mega grails like Amazing Fantasy 15 valued at $14,000, a beautiful X-Men #1 and a CGC 4.5, Daredevil #1, Hulk 181, Giant Size X-Men #1, Journey into Mystery 83, Amazing Spider-Man #1, Avengers #1, Fantastic Four #5, Marvel Spotlight #5, and 10 golden tickets redeemable for a $500 gift card at bryscomics.com. Chase some of the rarest Marvel variants to date from renowned artists like In-Hyuk Lee on One World Under Doom #1, Sao Wee on New Champions #1, Ivan Tao on Deadpool Wolverine #1, David Mack on Ultimate Wolverine #1, and my personal favorite by the illustrious In-Hyuk Lee, Red Hulk #1. Every single book has a premium bag and board. Every single book has an individually numbered COA. There's 5 different variants for each piece of art. Each one has a trade dress limited to 1,500, a virgin limited to 1,000, and 3 special variants limited to 300 copies, 175 copies, and 26 copies respectively. Don't wait for the aftermarket and pay an inflated price. Secure your pre-sale pack today at bryscomics.com for only $64.99.